So this is one of the weaknesses of EP6 Peugeot engines. It's known as valve stem cells. So uh, what I mean EP6 is engines. I'm talking about turbocharged engines, and most turbocharged engines you find in Peugeot 5 W2, Peugeot how do you okay, Peugeot 508 W2 models, T7308, 207, Peugeot 3008, and quite a number of Peugeot models. So they fail often. So my advice is, if you have oil burn issue in any of these engines in your Peugeot vehicles, you see the car is burning oil, is smoking, it's giving out bluish smoke from the exhaust tail, my advice is you replace this first. They are not that expensive, the new ones. For those engines there will be 16 pieces. So the new ones in the open market, not quite expensive. They do work. I cannot confirm how long they will last, but you can easily replace them. And most times this will stop that oil burn or oil consumption or bluish smoke symptom from the car. Um, Now there are ways of changing it. The traditional way is to remove the cylinder head. That's the you know, I can't say it's the fastest way, but that's the traditional way of changing this for on the engine. How to remove the cylinder head, have it replaced by technicians that are good or specialized in doing that. You put it back and that's all. Or you get there's a special tool you can use in changing or replacing these cells without removing the cylinder head. So the cylinder head will still be on the engine uh, before for you to remove them with that tool. But then the technical know-how, there was a time I was considering buying the tools so that there won't be need of removing cylinder head to be changing this for people on these engines. But then you still have to acquire that skill to be able to do it. So it's not like simple, it's not that easy. So anyway, for me, you can still remove the cylinder head, not much harm will be done. um some people will prefer changing the head gasket after each time they remove the cylinder head of the EP6 engine, but for me, I think it's a waste of money when it comes to EP6. Is EP6 engines, talking about THP, VTI, 120 and the rest. So there's no need of changing the head gasket as long as those original metal gaskets, and also as long as the gasket did not fail. The car didn't have a severe overheating issue that affected the gasket. No need of changing it. Those gaskets can be that indestructible. You can always reuse them whenever you remove the cylinder head and put them back. So I've done that countless times, and none of the ones I've done ever had overheating issue. After changing these valve seals and put the old head gasket back without changing it, and the car runs perfectly well. The engine, I mean. So, but if you have the money, you want to spare, I won't consider it a waste of money. It could be, but to me, no need of changing it. But if you want to, go ahead. But my point is to reduce the cost. All you need is buy this, have it removed, uh, put remove the old one, put this new one, and everything. Most times, all the ones I've done, most times this ended up taking care of that oil burn or bluish smoke or white bluish smoke issue on these engines, rather than the rings and every other thing. So I hope this helps. So as if you have intention of buying any of these cars with these engines, at least my advice, in fact, it's one of the things you need to even do as preventive maintenance, or you wait for it to start showing the symptom before you do it, but expect it's going to happen. um they do last if as long as you are constantly using the car. If you park the car for long, they will misbehave, they will fail. They don't like the engine being unused for a long time. It makes them to fail. But if you are using engine constantly, they will last longer. Another thing is, if you use different kinds of oil all the time, use different grades of oil, use this oil, of course it will affect the sale. All those things, because there's a rubber inside it, so it doesn't like, I believe there is a rubber, yeah, there's a rubber which acts as a seal. You can see it here, that's brownish this thing. So that's what is doing the work of the seal. This other outer part is the metal. So that's my advice. Don't avoid using all different kinds of oil, even if it's the same brand. Today use was let's just say we use was 9,000, tomorrow use was 7,000. The next time you change, use was HTC 5W30. Next time use the Mobile 5W30. Next time you keep using different kind of oil, it will affect the sale. It will affect, it will react on that rubber and they will fail. So if you not just EP6 engine, every other engine too, even using different oil grades, specs, and the brands, it affects valve stem cells over time. So I hope this makes sense for the people who are considering buying one of Peugeot cars with this sale, already own one and are having that oil issue. It could be this is not the only cause of oil burn in these engines. Your turbocharger can cause it, your rings, your pistons can cause it. So, but I'm just pointing out this is like the 90% the cost. Like 90% of this issue oil burn. Okay, let me not say 90% because turbocharger do cause it, but yeah, you could still leave it 90% or the other, maybe 70 or so. This is the first thing you deal with first. If I have to rule this one out before you touch any other component, you know. If you don't, then you probably might waste so much money only to realize that this peanut, because it's very cheap, it's not that expensive. I'm not saying the one in the market they are only OEM, but they work, but I don't know how long it will last. But the ones in open market in Nigeria, they're not that expensive. The set, which is 16 numbers, if you want OEM, they cost a little bit more. So, but I don't think you get those ones in open market. So, I hope this helps.